Good morning, everyone. Rebecca Vigus, the writer whisperer, here on this very foggy morning in Kentucky. Hope it's nice and clear where you are. Today, we're going to talk about finding the time to write. That seems to be the biggest issue for every writer I have ever come across. I don't have time. You do have time. You do have time to write. You just don't realize it. Get up a half an hour earlier every morning. Get up before everybody else does. So all you have is 30 minutes to write. Do your morning pages. If you're doing them as evening pages to reflect on how the day is gone, then write in that 30 minutes. Get yourself a cup of coffee and write. If you work in a job where you have a 15-minute break in the morning, grab your coffee, even if you have to go sit, or your tea, or your water, whatever beverage you have. And if you have to, go sit in your car and write, away from everybody else and all the distractions. You know, if the break room is busy and there's a lot of people talking, you can't write there. If you're in a cubicle and you can sit there and no one's going to bother you, then sit there and write. But if you need to get away, go sit in your car. If it's nice outside, go sit under a tree. There are places to write in that 15 minutes. And maybe you'll only write 10 of them, but you'll write. How about lunchtime? Some of you get 30 minutes and some of you get an hour. If you have an hour, so take 30 minutes and eat and then write the next 30 minutes. If you have a half an hour, take something where you can take bites and write and take bites and write for that 30 minutes. It's really not that hard, folks. Same for an afternoon break. Go someplace quiet. Your car, sit under a tree. Don't sit on the front steps of the office building you're in or school or wherever, because sure enough, somebody will be saying, oh, Joey's out there and he's writing. He's not even in his office. Not a good idea. Not really good idea. Not what you want. Okay. Now, you want to talk about how much you want to write. Well, you want to write a 50,000 word book. You need to write 100 words a day or 1,000 words a day. You'll be done in 50 days. That's not even 2 months, guys. And that translates into about 4 pages a day, because there are approximately 250 words per page. Whoa. I could write a book in less than 2 months? Yeah, if you find the time to write. It's up to you to make that time. How about a 60,000 word book? Oh, wait. 1,000 words a day? 4 pages? I'd be done in 60 days. 2 months to write a book? Yes. Not the finished product. Just the words. You have to go back and edit. You need to find an editor. You need to do all the editing in the actual computer piece that you put together, because all that stuff's important. But the words, actually writing the words to make a story, yeah, it can be done. National Novel Writing Month asks you to write a 50,000 word novel, that's 200 pages, in 30 days. And I didn't figure that out. But 50,000 words divided by 30 days means you are writing 1,666 words a day. So a little over 4 pages. And it can be done in 30 days if you really want to just write for 30 days and do nothing else, because that's what that requires. So you just want to write a novella. Okay, you need a minimum of 120 pages. That's before you get in all your title pages and your about the author and your acknowledgments. You need 120 pages of story. That's 30,000 words. 1,000 words a day, 4 pages, 30 days. On a short story, it will be, or on a novella, you will get your name on the spine. You go anything under 100 pages, and you will not see your name or anything on the spine of the book, not even the title of the book. The spines aren't wide enough. I have 3 blank spine books. Moonbeams was my first. Of Moonbeams and Fairies Collected Tales was my first one. Escape was my second one. And Santa is for real, but he doesn't always wear a red suit, is my third. They aren't meant to be long. So not having a title on the spine doesn't mean anything. Not having your name on the spine doesn't mean anything, as long as it's on the covers. That's where it means something. Okay, back to time. You have a family, you do family things together at the end of the day, fine, you do that. You get the kids down for the night. Maybe your spouse reads in bed. Maybe you write in bed. Maybe you just have some little corner in the house that you've picked out that is comfortable for you, and that's where you write. There's no right or wrong place to write. Maybe you're the guy that hangs out in the garage after dinner. Create a space in the garage where you're going to write. I had a friend who created a space where he made music. Beautiful music. That was his time to himself. Right after dinner, while the kids were doing dishes and getting their homework done, and then he came in, made sure they were all in bed, helped his wife clean up what needed to be cleaned up for the end of the day, but he'd had his 20, 30 minutes out there making music. So if you can't find time in your day, you need to do some reassessing. Writing is a commitment. It doesn't get done if you do it, oh, I'll do it this week, and 3 weeks from now, I'm going to write it, and 22 weeks from now, I'll pick it up again. It won't get finished. And it'll lay in a drawer screaming to get out. Or it'll pop up on your computer and say, hey, I'm still here. You have to make the time. Writing won't do itself. If you do not make time, you will find it never, ever gets done. I have a friend who's a poet, and he posted a couple pictures of himself yesterday on Facebook. And on the floor are all of his poems laid out, because he's shifting and adjusting and placing them where he wants them placed in his upcoming book. Some people do that with their chapters because they change where the chapters go, because it flows better when they make the changes. It's up to you how you get your writing started, how you get it off the ground. It's truly up to you. How many days do you want to spend writing your novel? There's a book called The Weekend Novelist. I will check because I can't remember his name right off the top of my head. I bought this and I started using it. I did the first chapter faithfully. The second chapter was on flashback, and I'm going, I can't write flashback. Why would I write flashback? Funny, when I actually sat down to write secrets, I wrote flashbacks. Yep, I did. Amazing how that stuff smacks you in the head. I can't do it, but yet I could. And I did. And it was successful. Secrets is in its second printing. Many of my books are in their second printing. My poetry will be going into its third printing early next year. And that's a book, if you want to see the growth of a writer, you need to read that, because the first poems in there started when I was like 16. And truly, some of them probably never should have seen publication. But when compiling a lifetime of work, you really don't leave anything out. And they're poems from the time I was about 15, 16 years old until I was over 50. There was a time when my daughter was little. We would go up to my parents' cottage for vacations. And I told her stories at night, bedtime stories. I wish now that I had recorded them while telling them so I could put them into book form. She was always the lead character because she was the princess in each book. Do I remember what obstacles this princess faced? Do I remember, did they have happy endings? Probably. I don't remember. If you are going to tell oral stories, please have them recorded. It's important that they are recorded because one day you may want to put them in a book. Maybe not for your child, but maybe for your grandchildren or your great grandchildren. Or maybe you just want them recorded so that your grandchildren and great grandchildren can listen to them. Okay. Yesterday we did a personal narrative. I hope you all gained something from doing that. Today's story prompt is different because they're always different. I gave you the one out of the newspaper. I gave you one out of Bonnie Neubauer. Probably a couple out of Bonnie. Okay. I'm going to shift again because once again, my writing prompts are not within arm's reach of my person, which means putting my chair down and rocking a little bit, which is notoriously bad for live videos, and grabbing Judy Reed that I have here. And Judy had about writers' retreats, something I will discuss down the road. We're not ready for writers' retreats right now. We're just talking about writing and what to do with your writing. So, do beginnings and endings. I'm going to type these in. There are several of them, so they will be in the chat. I want you to think about them. Don't write them all, for crying out loud. I don't expect you to pick more than one. Write about beginning again. Go someplace, or in your mind, go someplace where you can start all over and begin your life anew. It's an exciting experience if you've never done that. This one, you've come to the end of the road. Now what? You've come to the end of the road. Now what? Write the ending of a love affair. Here's your romance for you. This is where you begin. Where do you begin? And what are you beginning with? It all started when? Right about a dead end. Dead end job, dead end road, dead end relationship, dead end novel. It's right about a dead end. There is a place where the sidewalk, yeah, you know this one, ends. After Shel Silverstein, of course. There is a place where the sidewalk ends. Where is it? And when it's over, what happens? This I can type is the way it has always been. Do we need to change it? Or is this the way it should be? Begin at the beginning. And go on till you come to the end. Then stop. Lewis Carroll. It's what can't type this morning. We say after we've said goodbye. What is it we say after we've said goodbye? At the first light, you will leave. Whom or what are you leaving? And where are you going to go? Imagine right up to the brink of death. Life is only the beginning. And that one is after George Sand. That's a quote from him. What good, what is good, I'm sorry, about the end? Oh my goodness, where'd I go? I'm sorry. I don't know what button I hit, but I just kind of blinked out of here. Okay, there's only a couple more. The disorders of dawn is attributed to Colette. If you could start over, write your day from the beginning. The day the world began. Or you could write the day the world ended. Either or on that one. And the day the world ended was my edition. And the last one, we must start now. Now, here's the thing. I've given you all these writing prompts in this order for a reason. So that you have a choice. You don't have to write about all of them. That would be foolish. Just pick one. You can copy this list and use these prompts some other time when you've hit a roadblock. You can come back to this video 3 years from now. Those prompts are still going to be there, and pick a different one. It's up to you. You can share them in the comments for comments from other viewers, or you can email them to me. My name at gmail.com, which should be down underneath the video for you to see. Happy writing, y'all. See you tomorrow with something new.